if we hadn't opened that hatch? Maybe the mountain would have stayed quiet. Maybe the air up there would still smell of pine, not of rust and dust. It was late autumn in the Appalachians, gray sky, cold rain, and the kind of silence that feels alive. 5 of us: Mark, Sarah, Lena, Thomas, and me. Nate. We were supposed to find an old fire road, but ended up in a hollow where the ground rang metallic under Mark's boot. He scraped away the moss and leaves until the words emerged through the rust. E7/US Research Facility. Do not enter. Government, Sarah said, already uneasy. Mark grinned. Government used to be. Let's see what's inside. He pulled the handle. The hatch groaned, then cracked open. A breath of air escaped. Chemical, damp, unnatural. We followed the narrow ladder down. The metal was cold, wet to the touch. When we reached the bottom, our flashlights carved through layers of dust and concrete rot. One corridor, one door half open. Inside, a small room, a desk, scattered papers, and a television with a built-in VHS deck. On the table, several tapes. The label on one was still readable. Project HOUND, Log Series A. No one spoke. Mark slid it in. The TV spat static, a violent hiss that filled the room. No picture, just faint, broken sound. Then, under the noise, a voice emerged. Calm, steady, male.
Research log, Project HOUND. Dr. Elliot Marin reporting. Primary objective, enhancement of endurance and response in canines through serum induction. Serum A administered to Subject 1 at 0800 hours. Baseline stamina increased by 47% within 3 hours. Neurological response within normal range. No aggression observed. Appetite stable. Minor tissue discoloration near injection site. Assuming temporary reaction. Preparing additional test subjects for next phase.
The words were crisp but cold, echoing under the static like a whisper through a vent. Lena muttered, "That voice sounds too calm." Mark didn't answer. He just leaned closer to the screen. The tape cracked, hissed again. Another fragment began, the same voice, now slightly faster.
Subjects 2 through 5 exposed to Serum A. All exhibit enhanced stamina, but also unusual coordination. When isolated, they move in identical patterns, pacing, stopping, turning simultaneously, as if sharing an external cue. We verified no visual or auditory contact between them. Dr. Keller suggests a possible neural resonance effect. I'm unconvinced, but the data's undeniable. Request to suspend testing, denied. Command wants progress before the fiscal quarter ends. Proceeding with increased dosage.
The static swallowed the last word. Lena glanced at me. He said, identical patterns, right? I nodded. From deeper in the corridor came a single metallic drip. Mark's flashlight flickered once, then steadied. He pressed play again. The voice returned, lower now, weary.
Incident recorded at 14:20 hours. Subject 4 attacked handler without warning. Tranquilizer ineffective. Dose triple normal level. Subject's vitals remain stable. Strength beyond projected threshold. Command's response. Continue trials. I disagree. There's something beyond physiology at work. They no longer react to commands. They anticipate them. It's like they know what we'll do next.
The voice cracked on that last word. Static filled the rest. No one spoke. The tape clicked itself to pause, and the only sound left was our breathing. Mark whispered, "We keep going." Sarah shook her head, but he'd already hit play again. The screen stuttered, gray flashes, the hum of old electricity. Somewhere far in the dark, something dripped again. The screen flickered back to life. The voice was still there, the same man, but the confidence from the early logs was gone. Now he sounded like someone recording because it's the only thing left he can still control.
We've lost containment in holding Sector 3. One of the subjects broke through the lower gate during a feeding cycle. Handler team reported increased coordination. Animals moving as a group, cutting off exits. They don't attack immediately. They wait, surround, then strike together. 2 guards dead, 1 missing. Bite force readings off the scale. I've never seen dogs move like this. Not just stronger, but organized. Command calls it enhanced instinct. I call it failure of control.
A pause. The faint scratch of paper.
We're arming the staff. That sentence alone should tell you how far we've fallen.
Static swallowed the rest. Sarah whispered, "That's enough." Mark didn't move. "Keep going."
Multiple casualties overnight. Sector 3 is gone. They move through corridors now, fast, quiet. We sealed off levels 1 through 4, welded the hatches. No contact with upper security. Keller's team tried to reach the elevator shaft. We heard gunfire, then nothing. We found 2 of them this morning. They were torn apart, but not eaten. It's like they killed to clear a path.
His breath quickened, hitting the microphone.
They learned to use the vents. We blocked what we could, but the pressure's dropping. We can hear them moving in the walls. No, not inside, alongside. They're tracking us.
He exhaled sharply, metal clanging in the background.
I told Command we're abandoning the project. No response.
The tape hissed. Then another line, quieter.
I think they're waiting for us to make a mistake.
The static deepened. The next log started immediately, the man's voice raw, exhausted.
Power failure at 0200 hours. Backup generators online. Temperature climbing, smell of fuel and decay everywhere. Half the lab team missing. We're sealing ourselves in the upper block. I don't know how long we can hold. They're not animals anymore. They hunt in formation. 2 up front, 1 behind. I saw it. They herded Mason into a corner, waited for him to reload. He didn't even scream.
A scraping sound followed, and then his voice cracked mid-sentence.
I've ordered coolant release to the lower levels. It's toxic, but maybe it'll slow them down. Keller's gone. Heller too. We can't risk the elevator. I'm moving the remaining staff into Section B.
He coughed, voice fading.
If anyone hears this, don't come down here. They're still moving. They never stop moving.
The tape whined, the sound tearing in places, and no one in the room spoke. Even Lena had stopped filming.
Dr. Elliot Marin. Final record. I flooded the lower sectors with coolant. It's over. Everything's gone. The containment failed. The personnel are dead. I'm alone in Control Room B. I've locked the main gate. If anyone finds this, do not attempt retrieval. The serum works too well. It rewires the body for survival. Endless, unrelenting survival. I thought drowning them would end it.
A pause, then a whisper. Broken, tired, trembling.
It didn't.
Metal rattled in the background, distant and hollow. The doctor's voice rose slightly.
Someone's still alive down here. I heard them on the...
The tape cut, just silence. Then the soft click of the reel stopping. We all sat frozen. No one moved, no one spoke. The TV screen glowed gray and dead. Sarah finally said, "We're leaving." Mark stared at the screen. "Yeah," he muttered, but he didn't sound sure. No one said a word after the tape stopped. The air inside the room felt stale, thick with dust and old metal. The TV's static still hummed softly, but none of us reached to turn it off. Mark finally broke the silence. "We should see the rest," he said quietly. No one agreed, but no one stopped him either. We moved deeper down the corridor, 5 flashlights cutting through the dark. The walls were marked with rust, streaks of brown like old blood. Every step echoed with a hollow ring that felt too loud. The hallway opened into a wider chamber. Shelves, crates, scattered lab tools frozen in time. A faint chemical smell lingered, sharp, cold, industrial. Lena brushed her hand over a metal cabinet. On its surface, half covered by grime, were stamped letters. Archive, HOUND series. Inside, glass ampules. Dozens of them. Some cracked, others intact. Each filled with a pale, cloudy liquid that shimmered faintly under our lights. Thomas stared for a long moment. "That's it," he whispered. "The serum." Sarah took a step back. "We shouldn't be here." Mark crouched near the crate, reading faded labels aloud. Batch C12, K9 phase, muscle integration. Batch D04, post-mortem regeneration trials. He looked up. "We need to report this. It's a military site, probably sealed off after the accident." Lena lifted her camera. "Let's just document and leave." She started recording. Slow pans over the shelves, the ampules, the dust. The lens caught everything except what none of us noticed. Mark's hand slipping one small glass vial into his jacket pocket. We made our way back toward the main corridor. The air seemed heavier now, full of quiet sounds, creaks, the occasional drop of water, the hum of our own breath. No one spoke. At the ladder, Sarah turned to look back one last time. Her flashlight passed over the wall where the doctor's voice had echoed minutes earlier. There, barely visible, was a handwritten note scrawled in black marker. "Shut it forever." She swallowed hard. "Let's go." When we climbed out, the world above felt too big. Cold air, gray sky, the distant line of the Appalachian Ridge disappearing into cloud. For a moment, none of us could speak. It was like stepping out of someone else's nightmare. Mark was the last to emerge. He pulled the hatch closed with both hands, the metal groaning against the earth. Lena filmed it, the final shot of the day, then lowered her camera slowly. We started the hike back to camp. The forest was silent, just wind and dead leaves brushing the ground. That night, the footage from the tape played in my head again. Dr. Marin's voice, the way it broke at the end. "Someone's still alive down here. They're inside." I woke up before dawn. The fire had burned out. Mark's sleeping bag was zipped shut, unmoving. I turned over, trying to force myself back to sleep. Then, a sound, a faint clink, like glass tapping metal, from Mark's backpack. If this story unsettled you, leave a like and let the shadows know. Subscribe for more tales you shouldn't hear after dark. And if you've seen something you can't explain, tell us in the comments. We're always listening.